Peace, HHDG. We're on another episode of HHDG Media, the podcast. And shout out to our company, our crew, our family that makes this possible week in and week out. That's myself, Wiki, Rock Vader KB, T. Smith, Demare, and Skelly Top. Shout out to everyone tuning in right now through our YouTube channel as well as our Facebook group, HHDG Media Hip Hop Discussion Group. As you can see on the bottom banner, as our website, hhdgmedia.com. You can go check out the latest music that we put up there, as well as our merch and upcoming events. For tonight, we have two talented brothers coming out of Maryland. In their own right, they have multiple talents, which I definitely, respect, having not just being an MC, but other avenues in hip hop and outside of hip hop. So much respect on that. The two of them have been definitely grinding to put in their work. And for 2023, they dropped the album Invisible Clouds recently. And we definitely going to talk about that. But before we do talk about that, we're going to talk about, the road to coming to the latest album, inspirations, how they work together, how they met, life, and just overall that grind to success, because there's a lot of competition out there. So to be able to stand out is always important. And I appreciate, the work that they put in, and definitely digging the new album. As I've mentioned to them before, and I'm going to mention tonight as well, there's certain tracks on there like the DJ or the track Prerogative that I definitely want to speak about. That it's more than them speaking on the music, speaking on life. And, there's a lot to that. And to continue to be able to put out music with everything that goes on in one's life and be consistent, I got to give them a lot of respect on that. Definitely been putting it in. Aside from the music, like I said, they have other talents. So we definitely go ahead and get into that. And just, overall, let the world know about AceWonda and HYDROTRUST. Peace, y'all.
Peace. Thank you. Much love for having us.
Absolutely.
HHDG. Yeah.
No doubt. Before we even start with the album, tell the people, how the two of you met.
Well, we met through a mutual friend, and once I found out he could rhyme, he started rhyming with us, and we just took off from there. This was, I don't know, when would you say this was?
It's about 10 years ago.
Yeah,
Almost 10 years ago exact. Like I said, our boy, Most Real, um, met him through somebody I used to work with. And I'm from Jersey. Most Real's from Jersey. And we kind of was linking over our mutual friend's crib on some music. And at that point, he was doing music with Most Real, and I was doing music with my other homie, my brother Jay Syfe. And it just so happens that he came over one night with Most Real, and we were doing some music. And it was just the fact that he was going to lay something down. He didn't know I rhymed. We all really didn't know each other, but we was there for almost like a competitive sport. Like it was just about the music because the mutual friend was making beats. It was just really all for the love of hip hop. Like our boy was making beats. I spit, they spit. Okay, introduction, let's get to it. And then we just kind of gravitated to each other and found out like, oh, y'all really rap. It ain't just like, you actually had something to go with it. It wasn't just some people say they spit and it's, kind of in one ear out the other. They had something that stuck. And so it was kind of
Got
like
you.
A alike, B alike. We respected each other's talents. Then we just said, let's meet up again. And then that, grew into bigger and better things over time.
Yeah.
Okay. That's dope. Dope. Now, you mentioned that you originally came from Jersey. Hydro Trust. Have you always lived in Maryland?
Yeah, yeah, I always been in Maryland. And that's how I started, rhyming and everything, like just, you know. I remember when Di's Effects was coming out and Hit Squad and all that. I said, man, I can definitely do this. But even before that, I was dealing with the other people. Hold on. Yeah. Even before that, I remember Big Daddy Kane tape. I had tape. I was just playing on repeat and just that was the first time I memorized something like wow. And self destruction, I
Mm,
memorized that. And I just said, man, I could really do this. So by the time the dollar effects and stuff come, I'm like, I'm in. So I was just always in from there, you know.
okay.
Yeah.
Dope. Dope. Mm. Now, Ace Wonder. There was a time when I used to go to a place called the Court Tavern in North Brunswick,
Oh, New
and
Brunswick. Yeah, Cortez.
yeah, New Brunswick, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And Sunday nights was the open mic night. I used to, Pumpkinhead, Cy Martial Law, Silent Night. There's a few others. DJ KO used to come through there every once in a while. So I know that Cy Martial Law. So tell the people, how that connection came to be.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Without,
You was
without,
there. You was there at the good things. Okay. So, man, he took it there. I grew up with South Martial Law up in Brunswick, South Brunswick to be exact. And
Okay.
we met middle school. We going on 25 years strong. And, Pumpkinhead, Silent Night, RIP Pumpkinhead, one of the most talented spitters, we knew he was like Big Bro because he was Sam Martial Law, good brother, go by Skit
Hmm.
Slam, Black Belt Poems. He's one of the dopest MCs, out there. And so we were like the younger generation coming up, basically. We kind of looked up to them because they were elite spitters in their own right. And so, yeah, Brunswick definitely had their spots, but Court Tavern was definitely a known staple in New Brunswick. And if you got busy, you knew that location. That was the
Yeah.
spot to get down, and meet people of the culture. You know what I'm saying? Like you were going up the same cloth, you were getting down and beating up. And New Brunswick just was full of culture, full of hip hop. Record shops and different spots like that to get it in. But absolutely, Sam Martial Law is my brother. Best friend from, like I said, middle school, and I met Silent Night through him. In the area, local Jersey cat as well, very
Yeah.
talented.
That's
And
dope.
yeah, man, yeah, very talented brothers. So you surprised me with that one. I love it.
Yeah. A friend of mine who lives in Perth Amboy, he's the one that put me on to coming out there and checking out the scene.
Yeah, yeah. Jersey's rich with culture. Amboy's one of those spots too. They got their pockets that
Hmm.
you go, you'll really get put onto a lot of talented artists. That stretch outside of New Jersey, but I mean they're hometown heroes and favorites.
Yeah. Yep. And just speaking on what you were saying with pockets, I think that's like the bread and butter for hip hop. Always, we have certain areas where there's always going to be talent, but then that certain people from that local talent that everyone knows about branches out, and you being one of them.
Thank you. Yeah. I mean, that's what it's about. Kind of spreading your wings, known on your block or your certain mile radius, and then you go over to the next town, you meet some other people that, you know, talented, they doing beats or, you know, writing, whatever it may be, but then you just rub your shoulders and network. And the craft and the culture, the love for this puts you out there. You know what I'm saying? It motivates you to step out there and find other people, you know, of the same character, the same cloth, the same passion and motivation. So it all starts when you start connecting the dots. You know, you're in
Yeah.
your neighborhood, then you're outside in your local town, then you're in your county, your state. Now you go over, crossing over into the next state, the next city.
Yeah. Yeah, because
Absolutely.
back then it was either word of mouth or, you know, someone had recorded something and, you know, let someone else hear it. Now you got the internet where it's instantaneous.
Yeah, yeah. It's it's a whole new ball game, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I love though. Back in the day, you could, as far as styles, you could really tell where someone was from just based off their slang. You know, you knew certain slang was coming from Jersey. I knew certain Philly cats that would say certain words. You know, certain New York cats were saying certain words. You know,
Yeah.
but now it's a melting pot because as soon as a new term is coined, anyone all over the world hear it. And so they're saying slang that originated in one city across the world within the same day, and you know it's hard to kind of differentiate stuff. You
Yeah.
still got your little accents, but as far as slang, it's all universal worldwide. The internet done changed everything.
Yeah. Yeah. So what's the new thing in the Maryland DMV area?
Oh, I can't, man. Listen, I never was able to keep up, man. My slang always been kind of different. You know what I'm saying? So as far as the new, I'm out the way with what the, you know, the local terms are now. To be honest with you, I wouldn't even
I
try to
got
do it, man. Somebody will pull my card and embarrass me, man. So if you're like, what you talking about? I know what I know, and I'm still using words from back in the day that suit me. You feel me?
you. I got you. Yep. Mm-hmm. Now, Hydro Trust, you spoke about the MCing, but like I was saying in the intro, you got the illustration going on, the painting and the drawing. Was there a person, you know, growing up that gave you that inspiration?
Um, that's a good question. I guess, yeah, I was in, was it like third grade? I was in third grade, and my cousin, who I would, go home with and everything, stay out until my parents could get me. He was in class and he drew, and everybody was like, "Man, that's tight," you know. And I'm looking at it, I'm like, I could do that, like if that's what they think is hot, all right. So from there I just showed I could do it. And everybody's like, wow, wow. So it was always interesting because, my passion has always been um rap, you know what I mean? But
Mhm.
I do art for the people because, I know that's what they love. And I've always gotten that love, all my life.
Okay, that's dope. Mm.
Yeah.
So what
So
is one of
as
your
far as a person, oh, I'm
Mhm.
sorry, because I wanted to answer your question. You say as far as a person, I had a lot of influences. That was the first person, my cousin. But there's artists like Norman Rockwell, and there's the comic books that you look at. There's so many
Mhm.
different things that just causes inspiration. To just draw because I always wanted to make the best thing. I always wanted to try to draw the best thing. And that's how I am with rhyming. Like I always wanted to my thing is to make the best rhyme that ever existed, you know. So that's a good goal that I go for. That's what keeps me going, you know. It's the right you write the right rhyme, the whole world can hear it. You talk
Yeah,
about go viral times a million, because it's the message. And that's what MCing starts off with, the message, you know. They done diluted it, everybody talking all, crazy and everything. They got people who going into our hoods, grabbing up the kid who don't have any parents or anything, and then giving him a lot of money and being happy that he's killing himself and yet putting himself on the radio and everybody else is
right.
rocking with it, trying to be like him, and it's like grown man music. We don't fall for that type of stuff at all.
Hmm.
So that's why I keep rocking.
That's great inspiration right there. And this is one of the reasons why I appreciate the album is it's not one dimensional. And like I said, you speak on life, and that right there is part of it.
Yeah, like we always say, we go through the world and everything. That's the breathe in, and then once we go to that microphone, that's the breathe out. You know,
Hmm.
and you just breathe it out. Breathe out your life. So I'm just breathing my life when I go in the mic. This is what I'm going through. This is who I am. This is my morals and my compass.
Absolutely. With your drawings, I noticed that you like to draw musicians and athletes.
Hmm.
What's one of your
Yeah.
favorite ones that you drawn?
Um, Musicians and athletes, yeah, I do that because that grabs attention, so everybody can do it. But you know, the best drawing that I always like to do is draw from my head. You know, so when I'm drawing from my head, drawing from my imagination, just coming up with this is what I was thinking. That's what I enjoy the most. But I draw the celebrities and stuff and keep it in proportion and keep it neat and keep it good. More as a this is good for the customer thing. But when I'm making art for myself, that's when I go all in. But for the customers, yeah, I'll give them what they want, because I have a skill, and that skill I must give to the world, basically.
Hmm.
I like your basketball jersey.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
You said the basketball ones?
Finals last year. Yeah,
Mhm.
he put up a couple from last season's finals, NBA finals, with some of the music behind it, and those joints are fire.
Oh, yeah. What I was doing at that time was everything that was going on in the NBA, I was with it, and I'm like, I'm gonna make an illustration or a drawing every day of whatever's going on. So once Steph and them won like the first round, I showed that. I went over to the other teams and just drew everybody at that moment. So it started going viral. It started picking up. You know, but I'm somebody who are overthinker, so I'll switch and go to painting. So I just keep it moving with art. I never stayed static.
He was cooking them up with the music from my last album last year, Greenery Jones.
Green
That
region,
just
yeah.
caught my attention because he's, and I'm envious because I can't draw worth a lick, like at all. And I'm like, he's crushing these dope paintings with the music, that he put out last year with Behind. I'm just like, oh man, as an artist or anyone, you want to create content, but to be dope on both ends, like he can create the visual and have his own music that he records, in the background too. So,
Yeah.
man,
That's why I said that in my rap. I said I'm an artist. Any way you can imagine it. Go from poor to rich, something like a magic trick. Like any way that you say artist, I want to be kind of in that realm.
Hmm.
So yeah, I love it, man.
So many meanings from that one word artist.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
Yeah.
Mm. Now we also interviewed Ace Cannons last year with Mighty Healthy. I know that you worked with Ace in the past before. How long have you known him?
Oh, Ace
so
Cannons. So my brother raps too. His name Kojo Snowden. Look him up. He's
Hmm.
always killing it as well. Kojo Snowden. And he was making an album, so he did this one album that was called Kings and Queens, and it's a fire song. I'm a fan of that song. So it's my brother, and then I mean it's called A King and Two Aces. I'm sorry, that's the name of the song, A King and Two Aces. So it's tight to have both of the aces on there, and they both was killing. And I
Hmm.
loved it. I'm like, oh. So that's basically, they did a song together, but it was a good song. It's hot.
yeah, I didn't meet him. I didn't meet him because, like he said, Hydro said his brother is a supremely dope artist, and he tapped me for this track, and sometimes going with him, he's always working. You'll never know exactly what's going on. But he just gave me the beat. He said, "Come with it." I go in the stew, and the girl was there. The girl was there, but the other dude, he had some scheduling issues. Like he sent his verse in, but he wasn't there recording it live. And
Okay.
so I heard the track after everything was mixed, and I heard of him. You know what I'm saying, being a dope artist, but it came together. You know, it was a dope track. I was, you know, very, very grateful to be able to bless the track and be involved with it because Shorty even on the hook, it's the King and Two Ace. She had like a what's her
shout out to Tune.
to Tune, yeah. And I don't even want, you know, this her voice was reminiscent of someone else, but it was really, really flavorful. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, man, you know, this really came together dope. But yeah, man. Yeah. Shout out Ace Candace.
Dope. 2020 dropped Hydro's Revenge came out, and Crossroads came out with AceWonda and Cy Martial Law.
Yeah. That was a heck of a year. You're right.
Yeah.
That was a good year, man. So I loved it on my side, you know, Hydro's Revenge, you know, because just where I was at in the world at the time, you know, ain't that COVID and all that stuff, like, the world was absolutely crazy, you know what I mean? But, you know, it's funny how they act like it doesn't exist anymore like that, but the world was crazy. So I just like Hydro Revenge on everything in life, you know what I mean? And that's when I was like, every song, you know, I'm not even doing no hook. I'm gone. You know, that's why I say no punching in. That's the thing. You know, I don't punch in. You know, I do it sometimes. I'm not afraid to do it, but I'd rather not punch in all the time.
He hates punching in.
Yeah.
He hates punching in.
So I wanted to show with Hydro's Revenge, all of those songs, I'm just boom all the way. So no hook, I'm just gone to the races, you know. But the songs that I had the features on, those were the songs where I'll say, I'll have a hook for you. So I got the joint with Beatrice. You know what I mean? I'm climbing up footsteps. I got the joint with Most Real, you know, Pressure Tank. That's me, him, and Ace, Pressure Tank. So I got Most Real and Kojo Snowden on hooping. We just talking about basketball. Wow. Hooping.
Yep.
So
that was dope.
and that's just dedicated for my love of basketball, you know. Basketball saved my life, you know.
Yeah. But my joint on the EP is Sky Turned Purple.
Oh, that's what's up. That's what's up. Yeah, you know, I just, you know, when I did that, he was at the studio with me, you know. I just did it like boom, 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 you know, because I wanted to make sure I had it all the way down before I went to the studio, everything. I'm like, I'm just doing this straight up. And I did every song like that. And then within that same day, you know, it was getting dark. We were running behind. I went to go shoot the video, you know. So I shot the video the same day of making that album, you know. So we was just getting it done.
Yeah, you did. You did it after, right?
Yeah. I went straight and shot that video, Hydro's Revenge.
Thank you. You was bugging.
Yeah.
Hurry up and get these videos. You had art pieces out that you pulled out.
Yeah.
That was dope.
Yeah, I put all my art pieces there. Let people know I do both, you know. Sort of like, you know, one of my favorite players, Bo Jackson. You know, I like to do both. Bo Jackson.
Yep.
Yeah. So to get to Crossroads, that was I don't even know how that came together, to be honest with you. You know, like I said, Cy Martial Law, that's my brother. We, you know, talking all the time, and I remember 2019 was kind of a heavy year for me. That was right before COVID hit. I was going through some things with family, and he just started, you know, we would send tracks back and forth to each other. He'd just shoot me an email, yo, let me get a verse. Then one turned to two turned to three, but it was really therapeutic for me at that time. It was taking my mind off of some of the stuff that was going down, you know what I'm saying? Like
Understood,
on the home front as well. Exactly. And so I was loving it, man. I was able to concentrate and do what I do. Like I said, music is therapeutic at the same time. So that was my release. And then we listening back and forth, like, okay, we got some. We caught a nice little vibe, you know what I'm saying? A nice pocket where we had some traction. Then it was like 4 or 5 tracks. We get into like double digits. Now it's like, okay, what we gonna do with this? Then once we hit us, I forget, we wasn't even counting, but we knew now this is we gonna put this out. So then we started crafting it, sculpting it to like a project. But both him and I, we don't like to overthink. We think like when we're overthinking stuff, it kind of pulls the joy and the fun away from it, the life, a little of the life out of it. And so we want to kind of be, you know, easy flowing, easy going, just, you know, dope bars, dope beats, and just put it out, man. Let it live. You know, it was a different time for the whole world. Everyone was kind of locked in. That's why if you notice, like it was on IG. Like I was never on social media actually. He was like, yo, you need to get on IG. You know what I'm saying? He convinced me to get on Instagram for that project. Was when I actually joined like a month before we released it in April, like literally 3 years ago in 2020, because I was just really anti-social media altogether. And my brother said, yo, do it. I did it. No questions asked. Like, all right, here I am. And so the only thing that took away from that was we weren't really able to put down any visuals because it was COVID. I'm living in Maryland. I'm still in Jersey. And so we did a bunch of lyric videos. We did, you know, piece together a lot of creative tracks, but for every track, we did have a visual for it. And so that was very interesting because on top of that, it was like a whole new kind of game set for me. You know what I'm saying? Learning how to navigate through social media, put the project out with my brother, drop these visuals, but then also how to captivate and keep people's attention for a certain amount of time. And I think we did a really good job with that. But yeah, that was a definitely fun project, and we touched on some sensitive, you know, topics as well. A lot of that stuff was really from the heart.
Absolutely, definitely. About that. Yeah. So, trying to remember the track. There was one track that stuck out with me. Missing That. That was the one.
Yeah. For the new joint.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, so the way it's interesting the way that we record. You know, it's different ways to record. Sometimes you record. You know, we'll have the song. You know, I'll sit on it and let the energy come to me and whatever it's telling me. You know, and it'll be like 2 weeks or something, and then I'll have a, you know, great song. But a lot of times I like to just, you know, while we're there in the moment, like whatever I'm doing, this is what it is. You know what I mean? So for Missing That, that's something we just did right then and there, like bang, you know, it is what it is.
We did that on the spot.
Well,
he would know before me. If he said we did, we did.
Yeah, for Missing That?
Yeah.
Okay, it's your first, right?
I don't remember. I'll remember.
Yeah, Missing That. That's definitely my joint. I was hyped up on that song, so yeah, I felt good. Just writing it right there on the spot.
Yeah, he'll put you on the spot and say, let's just craft it right here.
Because the energy, you know.
Yeah.
Because it go both ways. When you take time and make a song, it can come out very great because you took your time, you penned it, and it can come out great. The only negative with it, sometimes it can sound dull, you know. So when you're live right there, live in live action, once you get to the mic,
energy's right there, yeah.
The energy is there. You know what I mean? Like electric. So I like both ways. I'm good with both ways, you know. But a lot of these songs we did like that, you know. Like the one song we got, the last song on the album, you know, it's late. I come there after we have our little talking meeting or whatever, and then it's like, yo, let's just write it right here, you know. So we just write it right there, you know.
Why would I stop?
Why would I stop? Yeah. So it's like, you go ahead, you say your 4. Okay, that's my 4, you know, and then I'll record it, you know. Boom, that's my 4. What you got for that? And he get what he got. Bang, you know. Okay, bang, and we just going boom, 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 and that's right then and there, you know. So just good energy, killing it, you know.
Yeah,
That's what
that's
it's
great.
all about.
Mm.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
throughout,
sometimes he'll go ahead.
I was gonna say throughout all of the tracks, it was 15 tracks. Sorry.
Mm.
How was most of the songs like that?
Um, it might have been. It might have been. When you say like that, you mean like written on the spot?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Um, I might want to say it was like half of, because a lot of times what will happen is, so out this project, he was gonna craft say half of the songs, and I was gonna craft say half of the songs. We might have cut a couple, and basically he would give me the concept, you know what I'm saying, like the premise of what this track is going to be about. Most likely he'll come up with the hook, and then we just know how many bars we're going to lay down, and then
Mm.
it's money. Like that's the formula. You know what I'm saying? Like it's tried and true. The beast that I chose that I want to actually captain, I come up with the hook, you know what I'm saying, the bridge, and then I need 16 or 24 from that, and then it's done. A lot of times I'll kind of jump the gun, and I want to write, because we'll record at my spot. So
Mm.
I want to write and record the joint, because when he comes in, he can just record. If he has this joint written, I'll be more thinking like we can knock out more work if, when we're not around each other, we just can write. And so when we come in and straight record it. But a lot of times he's been, you know, tried and true. That when we do right on the spot, it's a different organic energy there. And
Mm.
we've come up with some, saying some bangers that I really love when we've crafted it right then and there. Same way when we craft and we write and we come in and spit what we actually have written. But
Okay.
it's nothing like sometimes writing there together, getting the feel. And so I say all that to say, why would I stop was dope, because he came up with the concept of like climbing the ladder with the bars. Like we were piggybacking off each other, going in and out. So I think we did like 2 bars, 2 bars. Then it was 4 bars, 4 bars. Then it was 8 bars, 8 bars. Then we walked it back down. It was 4 bars, 4 bars, 2 bars, 2 bars. And we had
Ah.
never did that before. It's no hook. It's just me and him going back and forth
Hmm.
with that rhyme structure. And it worked out. We did it on the spot. So that was a special joint.
Mm-hmm. And then longer term things like Take Time to Write It. We did a song called Children Just Don't Understand. And with Children Just Don't
One of my
Understand,
favorites.
it's a takeoff. Will Smith's parents just don't understand. So
Hmm.
we're giving our perspective of how the children don't understand. So for that song, it's like, yeah, you know, yeah. And that's one of those ones when I'm like this. I'm sitting with the beat. I'm not writing it yet. I'm sitting with the beat. But when I'm driving up here, because I absorbed it for like what I wanted to feel and say,
Hmm.
to my child or children, when I'm driving up here, I'm still writing it kind of at the last moment. You know what I mean? But I feel it there. So once I'm in the studio, it's like, yo, this is fresh, you know? So that one was talking about, our children, how our children don't understand. And that's why at the end of the verse, I, s- I, I'm saying all of this wisdom to my child. All this wisdom. Don't do this. Look out for that. All this
Right.
wisdom in the world. And then at the end, he, that she or he, because both, but they take out the Bluetooth, whatever you call it, the earbud,
The bus. Uh-huh.
and say, "What was you saying?" Like my child wasn't even listening to me. I'm
Hmm.
saying the realest thing in the world, and you're not listening to me. And I purposely said they because I wanted it to be for my son and for my daughter, and for people who have sons or daughters. So that's why I chose to say they instead of she took it out her ear or he
Right.
took it
Right.
out his ear.
There you go.
So yeah, that was a crafted song right there.
That's dope. Now between Greenery Jones and Invisible Clouds, what have the two of you learned in your creative process?
Excellent. I like that. You want to go first?
Uh, I'll let you take that. Let me think on that part.
The thing I liked about it was, see, with invisible clouds, my plan or my thought, or what I want to bring to the table with it. I say let's make everything a song. So everything on here is a complete song. So all of the songs stand alone. So when it comes to making an album, sometimes you want to have songs that's not all the way songs or just ripping so it can gel better, you
Hmm.
know. But when you have all songs that stand alone, this make this album feel a little bit different. Like, wow, every song feels like its own thing all the way. So with Greenery Jones, we're just killing it. We got songs on there as well, but we also got songs where we just killing it. It's not even if the hook ain't even that important to take it to that level. It's just we're destroying the microphone. So what I've learned from Greenery Jones to Invisible Clouds, seeing what I had in my mind when I say let's make everything a complete song. I'm so proud of how it came out, and I think it's a beautiful thing.
I think maybe to try to be less critical of just the whole creative process and crafting in general. Between Greenery Jones and Invisible Clouds, I dropped a solo EP back in October. Sophisticated Syntax with 6
Yep.
tracks,
Hmm.
and I was really, I haven't done a solo in so long, and I was just like, I was back in the moment. It's like we was in the gym. We had did a pressure tank project. We dropped, yeah, we dropped that in March last year. Then we followed up with Greenery Jones in April, and then I dropped the Sophisticated Syntax in October. So I'm in the gym, like I'm putting. And so what I found was Sophisticated Syntax made me sit back and really just over critique my solo stuff, where it was almost becoming like a real job, real grind. It was like, man, I'm overthinking it because when me and him are doing it, it's kind of like moving like cruise control, like no hands. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just going. With myself, I was sitting so on tracks where I'm just mixing it, and I started mixing myself. So I'm the one actually like engineering the tracks, and so I'm got like 30 mixes for one song where with me and him, I won't overthink it as much. He's saying it sound good, okay. It sound good, it sound good. I say it sound good, it's good to go. And we put it out there to live. So probably just to kind of just, let the creative process uh, take its course, not overthink it, um, and really just have fun, man. Just, just have fun and try to be brave. He said something to me a few weeks ago that he was saying, a lot of the topics or a lot of the direction we go with some of the stuff we're saying is brave because you're not really hearing a lot of it out there like that.
Yeah.
And it hit home because it must have resonated because it's funny. You mentioned the sound martial law. I'm speaking to him today, and he was actually giving me a little feedback on Invisible Clouds. And he
Okay.
said the same exact thing as far as a lot of the topics we touched were, a lot of artists will stray away from getting on some of those serious topics.
Yeah.
But he applauded us for, for touching on those and basically added substance to it. And he thought that was dope. So, I think we went in the right direction, and I learned to be a little bit more brave with my music and step out of pocket. Because we both know we could rip and spit, but to be able to get your point across and, deliver a message that isn't so trendy, you know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I feel
Yeah,
that.
I'm here to uplift you, like the MC. I'm just here to uplift. I always take it like when they say hip hop, it's like, let me put you hip to the game, because MCing started off with knowledge, knowledge first. You're in the
Hmm.
B-boy stand, you know how it is. You know what I mean? So because it started like that, that hip to me, because that's what they taught in the 70s and 60s stuff. Hey man, let me get you hip to this. So hip, let me put you hip to this. Let me give you knowledge. And
Yep.
hop, that's the bounce. So when you put that hip, which is the wisdom and the bounce together, that's the ultimate thing. We here to grow. The industry try to have us where we on a lower level thinking by using the younger people to do it. But, they're not going to stop the grown man music. They're not going to stop the messages. We are the elders. I remember even when I was 15 years old, I said, when I'm at 70, I still would be rocking, shriveled up dick, and the girl still would be jocking. Even back then, I said that. I always look at it like, how you have Shaolin masters who do kung fu and things of that nature. You know, that's what rap is to me. Like, I would love to hear people keep working on their craft. I wish I heard more of Big Daddy Kane now, and to hear the elevation of, because when you put in that much energy into your rhymes, you can feel the charge, you can feel the real thing in it. And if you keep working on it, don't just fade off. But let's see how far we can go with it. How far can we really go with it? And let's just turn hip hop around with the positivity. You know, that's what I
Absolutely. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And to segue from that, one of the cornerstones of hip hop, the DJ you made the track with. And before y'all speak on that, Ace, who is the DJ you talking about that lived in Jersey and moved to Queens?
Yeah, that's my brother, my best friend. He goes by Broadway.
Okay.
Yeah, Broadway. You can check him out, Broadway/Crown Life Republic. And I met him maybe a year or two before Sound Martial Law. Me and Broadway linked up in like, I want to say fifth, sixth grade. Like I really know these brothers from the sandbox for real. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. So he moved from Jersey to Queens, and we was in the class like, okay, he like hip hop. He's Spanish. He's Colombian. From Queens, and we just had a mutual love for hip hop, and we be beatboxing and freestyle. And he one that actually influenced me to get turntables. Like I said, I went to his house when I was a little kid, and his older brother would DJ, and they had turntables, and I was like, yo, like I'm seeing what I see on TV over my friend's house. I'm blown, like you gotta be kidding me. So seeing him, what I'm saying, scratching, I'm young, bugging my mom and everything for everything. Like, yo, I just want turntable. So of course she did what she could. I wasn't getting no Technique 1200s, you know what I'm saying? But I got some nice little Geminis, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, that was my first, I guess, getting my hands dirty, pun intended, literally in hip hop, hands on. And I was trying to DJ, and I had a little kid, like, what was I, 11, 12, 13, with, saying his first starter turntables and everything, thinking I was doing something, switching my DJ name probably every few months. But then, that transitioned to me writing a few rhymes. And then from then on, that was it. That was it. But, he thought of the whole concept in the track. And we're always actually on the ad-libs, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you, like, he sprinkled in there on the ad-libs when I'm talking to him. He kind of does like a call and response.
Okay.
In between when I really start flowing on my verse. But yeah, that came together dope. And like I said, he was the architect on that, thought of the whole concept and said, this is where we going. So it worked out.
So I'm watching, I think with him, I'm watching the verses, with the locks, that whole thing, getting hyped for the verses, seeing the DJ play beforehand, man, it got me so hyped. And I say, yo, I would love to make something for the DJ that he's playing it at that time, right there, at the verses there, And I'm saying, okay, let me think about this. And the beat was so slow. I thought about the beat for a while. And I came up with it, and I'm just like, the DJ. I want to do something that's meant for the DJ. And Ace kept saying, you don't want to put scratches on it? I say, no, I don't want no scratches on it or nothing, because I want I want all DJs to have this record and to use this record. If somebody scratched on it, they would be, first and foremost, the DJ or whatever. I said, I don't want no DJ on this thing, And And I even had an ending part. I took that out. I said, I want this clean. He was like, his boy wrote to it. I said, now we got to keep this kind of clean, So I just wanted to keep it clean and open so that when DJs use it in their sets, I want all DJs to use it in their sets. Even if it's quick, you ain't got to play my whole verse or anything. Just play that DJ because I'm giving you props, and people going to hear that and the crowd going to rock. Then go ahead and mix something else in it. So whether you're using it for 10 seconds or you playing my whole song out of love, but I'm doing that out of love to you, DJ. Like it's all love. So you can't hate on that.
He was adamant on that. He had his vision. He stuck to it. He stuck to it.
Yeah, and there was so much I wanted to say in my verse. I couldn't put it all in there. And there was so many times with DJs. One time, me and my man, Most Real. Most Real is the one for Pressure Tank. Now, I met Most Real in Philadelphia when I went to college up there in Philly. Man, I love when I went up to Philly for college because I always consider myself like a battle rapper or something when I was younger. So any cipher, anything that anybody's at, I'm there. So at college time, I'm there. And Most seen me rapping and stuff. So, me and him started kicking it. And we just formed a group with somebody else I was with. And we were just doing it, So now we're down here in Maryland still doing it. And just making that hot music, man.
That's dope. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of 2022, Pressure Tank, the EP, Sophisticated Syntax. What about what was it? I'm trying to remember. The project with Deep State. What was that?
You said Deep State?
Yeah.
I think you're talking about my boy MacGyver Knowledge. And
from Jersey, right?
Yeah. So okay. Deep State is, I believe that might be the full name of their group. So MacGyver Knowledge and my other boy, good friends of mine, brothers of mine up in New Jersey. We all grew up and came up in the same pocket of New Jersey, Brunswick, right? Corey and MacGyver Knowledge. Together they are Deep State, and they came out with a super dope project called Lead by Example.
That's it. There you go.
And I'm not sure the exact month it came. Maybe they got pushed back, so I think they might have dropped it sometime in the summer. But Corey is the producer, and my boy MacGyver Knowledge, he's the MC on it. And yeah, man, that was super dope. A lot of dope music came out last year. And they were one that, put points up on the board, score one for Jersey. And like I said, they also, like, literally from middle school. You know what I'm saying? Like, I knew all of us really, is one of them. You hear about different groups and stuff like that. Like, we're them, like one of them type of factions. I always say it's just a fraction of my faction. You know what I'm saying? Because if you put us all together, it's a lot of us. But then we got, our own pieces, that we link up and do music. And MacGyver Knowledge is a super dope MC. My boy Corey, he's a super dope producer. And yeah, man, they tag team and put one up that was super dope, man. Definitely go check that out. Lead by Example.
Definitely go check that out. Yeah. I couldn't remember the name of the album, but I remember the collective. That's why I had to bring them up.
Absolutely.
Man, so I mean, you a lot of artists now, you from your childhood, you still cool with. That's great because a lot of people don't get to not only experience still knowing people from their childhood, but a lot of people end up in different places, growing up, moving here and there, so they don't stay in touch. So you to have all these people that you mentioned and me mentioning sound martial law that still cool with, still got that friendship. That's great.
Yeah, that is a beautiful thing.
Yeah, man.
Very beautiful.
Thank you, and I do appreciate it acknowledging too. 'Cause like you said, it's not too many situations, scenarios where you see that, that really. But we've been blessed to be able to grow and grow together. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? A lot of people grow apart, but the distance hasn't really hindered too many things, especially with technology to be able to collaborate now is even more beautiful. But yeah, man. And we got more music coming too.
Oh man.
Yeah, so know, just be on the lookout. But we've kind of bridged the gap. So you see Sound Martial Law and Broadway and different folks on, saying our projects,
Mm-hmm.
and then Pressure Tank with our boy Most Real is Hydro Trust, myself, and Most Real, and then
Pressure Tank. Yep.
listen, man, it's so many different, I guess, collaborations within the camp. You know what I'm saying? But
Mhm.
the camp is bigger than just us.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I can't.
But it's a mutual love and a mutual respect, and just being fondness of each other's talent. Like brothers really give it up. Like my boy can spit. You know what I'm saying? My boy got beats, and it's like we don't really got to go too far to really tap somebody and get some dope product. You know what I'm saying? To be
Yeah.
sent that way, like we know we're gonna get some heat.
Yeah. That's what I like. All the MCs that we deal with can spit heat, so we just spitting heat. Like, let's go, let's go, let's go, and it just amps me up. Like, I love that. I always want to go higher. Let's go higher. Let's do another song. Let's do another song. Like, let's do it. I love
Friendly
So
competition.
that's
Yeah.
His brother, Kojo stole it. Like I mean,
yeah.
you like
Oh,
my God.
oh yeah.
Like I didn't even know anything about his brother till years back. Now
Mhm.
we
Mhm.
talking, bring it up to speed. But you talk 2022, he might have put out how many albums last year?
Yeah. Like, I like the type thing.
Projects,
The
like
tight thing about me and my brother, like, we got different mothers, so we kind of grew up a little separate when we were younger, and it was tight that he started rhyming. He started rhyming at like, 8, 9 years old.
Mhm.
I'm rhyming at like 15, so it's kind of close to the same time, you know, and when I just started hearing him rhyme and we just go back and forth, and it's like, yeah, he's going too. And I like with Cole, he takes it all the way there. Like, he did 100 shows in one year, a couple of years. Like he's
Wow.
so hungry for it, and I love where his hunger is at with it. He also did. I did it in the days. He would have all the MCs come in before I did it, and we just all go in there and rap, and he'll do the whole album in one day. And that was big time. Yeah, so Cole is a big person in Maryland. Definitely.
yeah, I big them up because they give a lot to the culture.
Yeah.
They're talented in their own rights, and they will lead you down a whole nother rabbit hole. Like every artist
Mhm.
we've seen that I'm blessed to know personally.
Hmm.
But I mean, even if you didn't know us or stumble across us and have this conversation this evening, and you are, online and you run into their music, you could very well be sitting down with them. And I hope you do, because in their own right, they, have earned a interview right here on this platform. And like I said, they can give you so much more knowledge just on their path and journey. So we rub shoulders with these individuals, but they just, like I said, blood related. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Best friends that I actually grew up with. So
Right.
it's more than a coincidence. You know what I'm saying? But it's a beautiful thing at the same time.
Mm. Yeah. These are just move heaven. And I love people who are passionate about it. If you're not passionate, I'm not. But if you're passionate, it's just a beautiful thing. And just making that great songs. I told you I'm trying to make the best song that ever existed. That's my goal, to make the best rhyme. Let me even say it even more clear. I'm trying to make the best rhyme that ever existed. Each bar. So it's when I was young, like when I was 15 and stuff, I used to write down every word. Like if I say her way, stir wig, her wig. I want to know what is the best word to use. So I
Mm-hmm.
just used to keep going until I find what's the best word, what feels right, you know. So I would do that, and just I always wanted my last word to be so powerful, you know. So at 15, I used to just be engulfed with rhyming. You know, I'm looking at Red Man, Rap City, and all of them. It's like I want it. I want it too, you know. So I always love it, man.
That's ill. The thing with working with people that have a similar mind or inspire you like that is sometimes they bring something out of you that you might not expect to come out of you.
Yeah, definitely. Give you different perspectives, to
Hmm.
look at things and everything. And then sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but it opens your mind up to allow yourself to think outside the box and away from what you're used to, you know. So
Yeah.
you kind of break routine, which is good,
Hmm.
Sometimes being uncomfortable is a good thing, you know.
Yeah, it's
Absolutely.
all about that, man. That hunger. And I just love rap. I always love rap, you know. It's just part of me. It's my culture. It's me.
Mm.
So, you know, hip hop. I know they say hip hop's a little early. I always feel it was around when I was born and stuff, because, I was there the whole, everything, every part of it. I just love it, you know. Hip hop will always be a part of me, you know. I'll be questioning at times, like, man, should I keep rhyming? But then I remember what I said, like the Shaolin monk and the things like that. Yeah, I want to get stronger. I want to go higher. I want to see, what I'm doing.
Yeah.
That's why I hate when people do those things where they be like, people who 40 or something need to give it up. Like, y'all wildin', And I know there's some, white
Very
troll or
true.
hater troll or racist troll who's even making the post and just getting that stuff spread so that could be in everybody's head. But like I said,
Hmm.
it don't work. It don't work. It can't work. You can't beat grown man music. You can't be the king. Like, how can
No.
you? You know? But they keep trying, and we'll let
Yeah.
them keep trying.
I will say this. I think I've probably heard out of all the MCs and artists growing up that I come to love,
Hmm.
I've probably heard some of their better music or music that I gravitate to and I really enjoy in their later years. You know, some of their projects have definitely been as they've aged and still crafted and still put out music.
Yeah.
It
Hmm.
definitely some of their later projects have definitely hit. You know,
That's a good little switch over too. Shout out to the rappers that help me. You know what I mean? Shout out to Slick Rick, Dougie Fresh, the show. That's one of my favorite songs ever. Shout out to everybody, even the rappers who might not be as famous. I like the artifacts with Tame One and all of that. They was killing
You
it.
go.
Always give a special shout out to Sean Price. You know how that is. That's just ridiculous. I remember me and my cousin in the car, we get that Helter Skelter. I'm like, yo, what is this? Oh my and it was just ridiculous, So shout out to every rapper who is contributing, to lyricism and thought, and just trying to take it to that level, you know. Like y'all say, candy rappers, all that stuff. Like if you're doing some live thing, okay, it's catchy, and I still want to
Uh,
be just as catchy, you know.
but the longevity is in question.
yeah,
Where are they
yeah,
now?
Exactly.
man.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's why we always say like, you see the top rappers is like a Nas, Jay-Z, like all that, I don't want to call people out, but all those poppy songs and stuff, where are they now? They're not at
Hmm.
the top. They're not still here.
I appreciate it all,
I do, to
because
bitch I'm rock.
it makes the value of other artists, what I'm saying, it differentiates them. And then, some people they don't come into the game for longevity. They want that bag in the beginning, get out,
Exactly. Hmm.
So, it's all what the person's motivation and their goal is.
Word.
But it definitely these people doing this over here solidifies or makes certain individuals stand out for doing that over there. So you need some of that. You know what I'm saying? You need some of that to be able to appreciate what's over here.
Yeah. And but
Absolutely.
because of how they've been milking down or whatever the industry and everything of hip hop, we need, more of it too, because we need to get back to where we were. Y'all seen how it was with Queen Latifah, all that stuff. We were getting to spitting knowledge, and then they
Right.
just slipped it right out with the ignorance. And now the ignorance is so everywhere. I care for everybody. You know what I mean? And I just want people to know what morals are, to know what love is. I don't want to drive in my car and listen to WAP. I get it. Yeah, it's good.
Mhm.
And I ain't against it. Strip clubs, things like that. All these things must exist. That is correct. And people need to have their fun and their outlet. I just need balance on the radio. That's all I need is just balance. You want to
And
play
so
WAP,
grew up
then
on.
give the girls something. We still ain't got nothing since Lauren Hill to that level on the radio type of thing. I know y'all say Jean Grey and people like that, but that's more underground. I'm talking about, like people ain't got that many role models. So we just need more role models in hip hop. We need to take over hip hop and
Oh
just
yeah.
show people. That's why I say that's rap. I'm talking about hip hop right now. And hip hop is something you grow from. You want the elders to stay hip hop, and it's just teaching our kids, and we're just growing and moving through life in this positive culture, not this deaf culture. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I completely agree. And you know, there's it's a push for negativity to see the black on black type of violence and stuff like that. They want to continue to push that, over sexualizing our women and things like that, you know.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like you were saying, we have that positivity, we have that diversity. It's just not put out in the mainstream because the mainstream is the machine. They want to generate that money. Hey, if you want to talk about killing your people, they're going to keep putting that out there.
Yeah. hmm That's true because we let them. I
Hmm.
know people get mad with James, they culture vultures, all that stuff, but we let them. So we need to stop letting them put our stuff up and do what we're doing. That's why I like what we're doing. Like we're running like
Right.
a machine. There's still more music to come. I still want y'all to enjoy Invisible Clouds and all of that, but we still pushing, we still moving. We got to make more music. More people got to hear it. Just they got to hear the spirit in the lyric. You know,
Right.
so
Yes.
yeah,
And you should be able to learn something, get something from, artists that are telling you something that's tangible. It's
Hmm.
like soul food, stick to your ribs, that food for thought. So
Yeah.
when somebody's telling you something, I'm not to say I'm against all the everything he was just mentioning, you know what I'm saying? Like the violent, I don't want to coin it a term, what type of music it is, but let's just say the um the messages that get put out there that bring down our people or the culture. What I will say is it needs to be balanced, like he said,
There it
and
is.
tell
Yep.
two sides of the coin. So I respect the people that you're gonna talk about all the dope dealing and the hustling, talk about the consequences that comes with it as well.
word,
If you're
word.
gonna talk about the height of it, talk about the lows. If you're
Absolutely.
gonna be talking about,
Mhm.
you know, fast hot girl summer and all the women doing all this stuff and they doing all this, talk about what comes with that. You know,
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
be balanced. Talk about the unwanted pregnancies. You know what I'm saying? The STDs, like it ain't all glamorous, it ain't all glitzer.
Mhm.
That's all I'm saying. Like
I agree.
you gotta give people the full picture. You can't just run on one side and then, it's gonna be a lane for that, but that's where I draw my respect and my attention. It only goes but so far because you live long enough, it's like I said, two sides to the coin. I
Yeah.
respect that the people that's going to give you the full balance, full picture of it. So
Yeah,
it's
Absolutely.
real.
Yeah.
The proof is in the pudding.
yeah. As you get older, you do see your time limited, and the reality of what one can change and things of that nature. I do agree with that. Uh, so it's called wisdom, because you see where some people are overzealously religious or things, like that, like
Mhm.
because they trying to do everything at once, and it's like things take time. You just plant those little seeds that they slowly grow. But through my lifetime, will it be where it's all peace? No, it won't. But that's why we made a song called, Heaven, and we talking about heaven. So now I can give you my goodness that I'm visualizing down here. You know what I mean? So that's why I enjoyed that song that we made called Heaven. And he came up with that, you know. That beat
Mm.
was banging, and he passed that beat. He said, "I want to talk about heaven on here." I'm like, "What?" Over top of this murderous beat, I love it. You know what I'm saying? I said, "That's a great idea. Let's go." You know, so I just went off on that joint.
Man. So this
Yeah.
question is for both of you. With continuing with the balance, it also comes that inspiration for
Mhm.
Ace. What is the inspiration that you see that comes from Hydro Trust? And same thing, Hydro Trust with inspiration that comes from Ace.
Are you saying what do I see that inspires him, or what about him inspires me?
Yes, when it inspires you, yes.
Oh man, the drive this brother has. He's just so passionate about just hip hop and rap. You know, that's why me and him are able to create so much um, in a short amount of time because we both have a love for hip hop to where I know he's gonna take it seriously and he's gonna give it his all and
Mm,
he's gonna want to be creative, you know. And so it's like he's focused, you know, he's focused, and that inspires me. That inspires me because at first, when we first met, I didn't know to what depth, you know what I'm saying, his skill set was, nor did I really know, you know, as far as how serious he took it. Because like I said, I came from Jersey when I moved to Maryland many years back, but you know, the guys that I grew up with, we really did this in Jersey, you know, so it wasn't but so many people that I linked up with personally that I got a chance to really build a craft with. I did, you know, meet others along my way, but when I met up with him, it was just a little different. And the fact that we would link often, you know, it was a frequency that we would link. So to sum it up, I would say basically just his drive, his focus, and his just his passion to create. You know,
mm,
he wanted to put something out there and just you know not be, I guess, someone that you know would just have all these ideas in their mind but never come to fruition, never see anything. He was about actually producing product and putting it out there, and that kind of got me and you know me dusting the dirt off my shoulders or whatever like that because I was always about spitting, but I wasn't putting that out. You know, he got me back busy, him and Most Real, to where it was like, yo, okay, let's go to the studio. So we was running to the studio like it became like every week or every 2 weeks we was in the studio. This is like 10
mm,
years ago. It was like they, you know, got the conditioning back up to where it was like, okay, we went to the gym, now we running laps and then we start putting out projects. So if you didn't know, I think I'd have to say we got projects that was sprinkled over the last 10 years under the tagline of the group named Pressure Tank that you can go
mm.
check out. And it's all three
Yeah.
of us, you know, that been consistent too. So that's what you know this brother brings to the table. It's the drive and the passion and the focus, you know, just to better himself, to do something better. We want to do something different and we want it to be better. Each time we step in and we say we're going to put something out, we want to try to go left. You know, we know what worked for us. Let's see if something else can work for us. Take bits and pieces from, you know, previous efforts that we've done, but now let's build that into something new and better.
Yeah, yeah. And what I get from Ace, like first meeting Ace, like I've always been in groups most of my life, so I've always dealt with MCs the whole time, And when I met Ace, it was like, okay, he's another MC, and I would see him rap. Like me and my man Most, we went to a studio and we first started redoing an album that we had did to make it sound better. So we was in the studio, and then we'll do one song with Ace. But as the weeks went on, we started saying, man, forget this album that we're redoing. Let's do this. And so me,
Right.
Most and Ace made our first album together called Journey to the Ship. Uh, so once we did Journey to the Ship, it was like, man, this is what's up. We did so many songs. We had a second album called the Great Album. So that was the songs we didn't pick, but they were still fire. And we wound up liking that album. So we just kept rolling. And you know, I don't know what's going on right now, but the place that you could look at it, if it's there, but from what I hear is being destroyed is that pit. So, you know, that's where all those at. But that's back when we was on other people beats and things of that nature. So now that we on, our own beats, you can go anywhere. It's fine.
And I'll say this one, just to before I forget. My brother says some things that will stick with you, and I mean on any level it hits home. And I feel like you could be man, woman, child, but it's nothing that's uh gimmicky. It's nothing that you can it's like you can date it. Like he says some bars that will remain significant and resonate with people 20, 30 years from now. You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta really catch it. You know what I'm saying? You gotta really catch it. And then sometimes it's face value. But even sometimes I go back and I piece together some things to where I'm just like, okay, he paints some beautiful pictures with his joints that he's not afraid to kind of just get funky with. He sometimes he can be technical, but then he can also, you know, have fun with it and let his flow do the talking instead of sometimes being real technical with the words. Um, and I'm a real lyricist, you know what I'm saying? Like a real lyricist will hit, really piece together other lyricists' bars, you know what I'm saying? And really talk about or think about how he came up with that rhyme scheme or that pattern or the syllables that he matched. I'll pick apart some of his verses and peep them. And so it's not for everybody, but a real lyricist will understand, the effort and where he was going with that. I get that. I get that. And I appreciate him when that happens. So, he brings that to the table. It's a level of skill set that I admire and I appreciate. That I know is not for everyone at a certain level.
That's what I like about Ace stuff. Like, it's like I love the challenge of so many MCs and stuff. And I know Ace gonna always come with it. He's always gonna spit from the heart. It's true, it's real, it's there. Boom, 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 and it's consistent. So it just works. It's like wow. So just seeing how he's consistent, each song and stuff, it's like, okay, he's coming with it, and I love it, because I naturally love those challenges. Like, I just love it.
That's great, man. Love that. Love to hear that. For the people tuning in and for myself, tell us the origins of your name.
Well, let me say for me, right? Like what people like about me and stuff, like I was Hydro once I started. I was Hydro. And when I talk to other MCs and stuff, I always share with them some of my 93 rhymes. I even said it in a rap I did with Ace on the hip hop song. I say, I still remember my 93 rhymes. And people might think I mean 93 of them, but no, my 1993 rhymes, I still remember. I could say for a minute or a while, let me howl. That's my style. You give me an inch, I take a mile. I give you life without a trial, nigga. So if you ready, come get some. Well, my time's up. I'm like George, so I'll jet son. That's 15 years old. I'm at 15. I'm like, don't cut me short like Bobbitt, Lorena Bobbitt.
Mm-hmm.
Don't cut me short like Bobbitt if you knock it, clock it. I come back up like some vomit. I mean, looking very timid, but I never want the torment. Zoom zip, I come equipped, bagging tricks like chips. You begging me for tips because I rip some rhymes all the time. So drop it on the time, lemon lime, twist the cap, mic check, what the heck. I still know my 15-year-old rhymes, so that's where I'm at with it. So Hydro always been Hydro, who I am now. So at one time when I was rapping with Mopes and somebody else, we were saying we should change our names. And, I was like, all right, I'll do it. You know what I mean? So I changed my name to Trust, and they would
Mm.
call me Big
Okay.
Brother Trust. So I'm like, that sounds kind of cool, Big Brother Trust, and they just call me Trust. What up, Trust? So I was that for like 2, 3 albums or something. Then I said, man, I gotta bring Hydro back. Like I know everybody had the name Hydro or whatever like that. For me, Hydro meant water, but I know everybody else had Hydro, but I didn't care about that. But I got what people were saying. Why would you want to name everybody else got? So that's why I say I'm gonna put the Hydro and the Trust together because you can always trust. I always try to have an energy that you can trust, and believe in. You know? So that's the origin of Hydro Trust.
So
Yeah, it's but Ace Wonder. So my last name is Acey, spelled Acey. So off break, I've been Ace since I was born Ace. Everyone tagged me Ace, as I was young, with that being my last name. So then we mentioned boot camp. I was heavy. All of us growing up was heavy boot camp. You had Starain Wonder, you know,
It's my man.
yeah, one of the, he was
oh,
one of the leaders of OGC, um, who was a smaller group within the full boot camp. So one day I'm listening to one of Busta Rhymes' earliest albums.
Okay.
Forgive me, I do not know which one it was, but he used to have the hardest intros. It could have been one of the extinction level event ones, but it was the don't 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 don't. The beat came in, he's hollering and stuff, but he says, "The wonder of the world," and in my mind, all I heard him say was the Ace Wonder of the world. Now I know later on he probably said the eighth wonder of the world, but I rewinded that tape back. This was tape time, the cassette
just
back
listening.
like 5 to 10 times. Like, did this nigga just say the Ace Wonder of the world? And if he didn't, that's what he said to me.
Mm-hmm.
I said, that's hard. That's it. And because I was boot camp so heavy, I said, did that make sense? I said, yeah. Starain Wonder, who gonna say, like, ain't nobody telling me that's not dope. You know what I'm saying? Like, you couldn't tell me boot camp wasn't one of the dopest squads out. You know what I'm saying? So there I was, Ace Wonder. My last name's AC, already called Ace. Ace Wonder. I swore Buster said it, the Ace Wonder. It sounded it wasn't even no second guessing, like Ace Wonder. There it was. And that was that. Switched up the spelling. No ER. So here I am, Ace Wonder, stuff with it.
Oh, man, great stories right there. Um, for those tuning in, Invisible Clouds is the album 2023. While we have Ace Wonder and Hydro Trust here. So one thing I like to ask when it comes to albums is, for the people tuning in, what is something in the creative process of your latest album that us fans might not know about?
Well, for me, it's like sharing with y'all, you know, like any song you could say I kind of can remember doing, because we were moving when we were doing it, but every song had a special thing with it. And like he said, maybe it was half, but there were songs that we wrote, and there were songs like I remember coming in right there, like, let's do it. And that's what it is. And I feel good about those songs as well. So, coming from my side, it would be just the creation of it. Like I still want to hear so many things. Like I want to ask, Beanie Siegel, what was it like when you did this? Or, other artists. So I always like to hear artists' times in the studio when they created the songs, because I think those are special moments. And,
Mm.
we the type, we don't share our lyrics with each other or nothing. I never did that with any group I'm in. You know what I mean? I don't I don't want to see your lyrics like, no, I want the magic moment to be at the moment when we record. You know what I mean? Um, so I just like that magic moment because I'm a studio person. Like the studio is my sanctuary, is my whatever you want to call it. You know what I mean? When I come there, that's what it is. You know. So yeah, that's my main thing. Is just the creation of the songs and how we created each song and how every song, the subject matter is so strongly different. You know. Um, like you said, you like Prerogative, that was a good song, and we got a good story on that as well. But I don't want to take up. Go ahead.
You might have hit it. So the creative process, I think I shared. Okay, so on this project, Visible Clouds, which was different from Greenery Jones, we had one producer do all the beats on the Visible Clouds. Found this producer, go by the name of Bombay. He had a dope sound. HYDROTRUST founder.
Mm.
Brought him in. We went down the rabbit hole, start, you know what I'm saying, going through beats, and we're like, work, he got a catalog. He got a nice, catalog of stuff we can rock with. So all the beats were done by Bombay.
Yeah.
And like you said, he would choose the beats that he liked, and I would choose the beats that I liked, and basically we would call captain. So I knew I'm in charge of these beats. I'm gonna think of the concept of them. I'll figure out the structure of the song, saying hook, however, verse, hook, bridge, whatever it may be. And I'm going to just feed you. It's like the alley, but
Yeah.
basically, I kind of I come up with the skeleton of the beat, of the
Mhm.
structure of the song. I throw you the alley oop. It's just basically slam dunk. You come with your amount of bars that's going to be necessary for it. And we feed each other both like that.
Mm.
So he had his set of beats like that. I had my set of beats like that. Another interesting thing he said it though earlier. He really don't care to he really likes writing, or let's not say writing, but also recording on the spot. And meaning that even if we had the verses written a week or two, I wouldn't record them until he got there. So it's not like, and we are privileged to where we both live in Maryland. He's, not too far away. So it wasn't like we're sending verses to each other. Like we record in real time. He's coming over to the spot and we
Right.
sitting down, you know what I'm saying, like we are now.
Mhm.
And we actually recorded it together. I think it was one time that I kind of jumped the gun, maybe twice, where I had my verse written. I was just antsy. He came into the studio and I just played the joint. I'm like, yeah, well, I already dropped my verse. I recorded my verse. Just go ahead and, lay yours. He was looking like, what? Like I didn't record it while he was there because, I think he's just a fan of us doing everything in real time, simultaneously. And I started getting into the mindset of, well, it's no reason to wait. If I can go ahead and record mine, that leaves more time of us to do other stuff in the studio, because since it's in house at my spot, I can go ahead and do it. But like I said, you can't miss those organic moments when we actually create and record together. So
Mm.
besides maybe one or two verses, everything was recorded at the same time when we were together. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah. Yeah. We do both ways. I don't have a problem if he get, has it already down. You know. But yeah, the you asked the question earlier, and when he brought that up, that made me remember the difference between Greenery Jones and Invisible Clouds is that Greenery Jones is a bunch of different producers, and then Ace was saying, let's do something different for this next album. He was like, how about we use the same producer? I said, okay. So one day I just, went on BeatStars or whatever, and just listening to a bunch of instruments. I usually don't have a lot of time to do it, but I wanted to take that part serious. So I just
Mhm.
drove around for hours just listening. Like, who's the best? Who has the majority of songs? Because a lot of beat makers, I like, the passion I put in my verses. I want to hear it in the album. So when I heard his, I'm like, oh, everything's good on here. Oh, okay. Ace was cool with it, and we just took off. Like, okay, so Invisible Clouds is the same person, and Greenery Jones is different. And then our next album, we're gonna go back to the different people. But I think it was a beautiful thing. I think it worked out beautiful. He came up with the a name Invisible Clouds. I thought that was good. I told him what I came up with I might use for my solo or something, but I said the magic of someday, so that might still be in the works. But Invisible Clouds is beautiful, you know what I mean? And I designed the cover and stuff, like I always do with my covers and the other people we rap with and stuff like that. I just you was asking about the art. That's how I mix the art with the music, you know.
There you go.
And the title, just to, you know, sum it up, was just we was thinking of it, but I just kept thinking like, something to where, the song back in the day, I'm a big 80s music person, but I just kept thinking, my future's so bright. I gotta wear shades. And I'm thinking like invisible clouds, like there's no gray skies in the future. Like our future's just so bright. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like just invisible clouds, like we don't see them. You know what I'm saying? It's just everything is just, it's sunny ahead of us, bright future, invisible clouds. We don't see no, ain't no gray skies right now.
Yeah.
It's all positive, it's all light. So yeah, that's where that kind of came from. It wasn't too much into it, but like the term, we stuck with it, we stood on it.
Yeah, invisible cloud.
There you go. Like that breakdown. Will there be any visuals from this album?
Yeah. So far, we've did a lyric video for our most recent things, but we definitely plan to put a good promo on each one of these songs, because I want more people to hear the songs. I think they're worth hearing, and we're gonna push them so that they can hear. So I still, the DJ, like I was telling you earlier, I still want other DJs to rock with that, do what they want to do, and just every song has a reason or a point to it. And I wanted to reach like for parents. I mean, children just don't understand. I want the other people who are, our ages and stuff. Other parents. This is music for grown folk too. So I want like the grown folks to hear music like this is my speed. This is what I'm talking about. And maybe I'm helping them, I'm not saying help you raise a child or nothing, but you know, we're sharing things and we're feeling each other on that level, because I know you're a real man, a real king like I'm trying to be, so the real men, real kings and real queens and everybody, that's who I'm doing.
And yeah, we definitely gonna throw some visuals out there. So we trying to handpick a select few that we're gonna do some I don't want to say intricate, but we're gonna give it what it's worth as far as a visual treatment. So we gonna sprinkle some little lyric videos out there for some.
Okay.
But we did that just to kick off one that we just did last week with Certified. That's the lead song for the project. But yeah, I got like a good 3 that I know I want to do like official videos for. Right now we just trying to get the videographer or the person who's actually going to do it and get schedules aligned.
Yeah.
So that's one thing. And then I guess a question for you, if you had to pick, say, 1 or 2 tracks that you would like to see a visual for, what made that be?
Out of my favorites, Certified, Missing That, I'm a King, or Children Don't Listen. Just Don't Listen.
Don't understand.
And I'd probably say Certified, the first track.
Yeah, that's usually the I say the sequence, follow a tradition how a lot of artists and labels put out music. They'll drop the audio, they'll do the lyric video, then they come with the official video. So like I said, the lyric video just dropped last week. So yeah, we'll probably get Certified in queue to definitely put that out there, along with a couple others, definitely.
Definitely.
That's what's up. I'm glad you love that. I'm a King is one of my favorites on there as well. I just love that song. I love how Ace comes in, just killing it. The beats going up. There's so much going on.
Definitely. And only thing I like to say is the way music is, like I said in the beginning, it's very competitive. Just keep pushing the album. People continue to know about it, and over here at HHDG Media, we're gonna continue to do the same thing. Let more and more people know about AceWonda and HYDROTRUST new album, Visible Cloud.
That's what's up.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for the love. I appreciate you the whole way. You know what I mean? I could tell that you really listen. I like when you was when I first heard you telling me about Greenery Jones and stuff. You was like, no, I heard it. You was telling me things. I said, man, that's what's up, man. So you've always been a good person when it comes to that stuff. And I know lyrics, bars, music, So it was always good to see you, represent as well.
I appreciate that, definitely. And right now, floor is yours to give you shout outs and let everyone know where they can go and support you as well as music.
All right. Well, this HYDROTRUST, I used to want to name my company Art Music, because I do art and I do music. And I try to do both of them at a high level. So if you want to check my art out, at this time it might change, but one website you could go to is thegreatestgraphics.com. Thegreatestgraphics.com. That's a place you could go. You could also go to Hip Hop Portraits. I do that. You could go to Instagram. I'm there. Facebook, YouTube. I'm at all those places. If you want to check out my rhymes and check out my art. And I'll also look up Pressure Tank if you want to hear our Pressure Tank stuff as well. So anywhere you can just type in HYDROTRUST everywhere you go, and you'll be able to find it.
Yeah, same here. As far as I'm mainly on IG _AceWonda, but all streaming platforms, the DSPs, type in AceWonda, and you can check me. We got the joints, like I said, Pressure Tank. That's a whole nother rabbit hole slew of music that we are featured on with our brother Most Real. I got some more projects coming out in the near future, too, with my other brothers, Broadway and Sound Martial Law. We got a new project that's dropping in the next couple months. Gonna be dropping another solo later on, this year. So we working. HYDROTRUST got a solo coming out later on this year, but we're gonna step it up and get a lot more active on social media and different platforms. So just be on the lookout. Appreciate the look, great discussion, and look forward to many more, man.
Absolutely. Definitely, more projects coming. You're always welcome to come back on.
That's what's up.
Absolutely. On behalf of our HHDG Media crew, we're going to say peace.
Peace, y'all.
Peace.
Peace.